right. This is what it is. There may be a child. Hey, it's Jordan. Okay, Brittany. Oh my gosh, Brittany, I love you so much. You are doing gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous work. Can I just say that out loud? Like, I just want to validate. You're here. You're doing it. I am so just, it's courage. One of the things, you guys don't know me very well. Some folks might know me relatively well, but most people don't know me very well. Courage makes me cry. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Abby. I am a licensed therapist. This is not therapy. What else? I dissociate from the collective as well. It's just a thing. I primarily work with survivors of childhood sexual trauma, and I myself am a survivor, okay? And I made this platform to support, validate, and elevate the voices of people who were harmed in childhood and talk about what we see and what we can expect to see in the experiences of people, right, who have gone through this, right, like what it's like. That's my thing. I believe people make sense. Okay? Are you with me thus far? Now, I have felt it was necessary to stand in support of Kendra. And I have had to do that because as a licensed mental health provider and a person who works with people who have experienced childhood trauma, it is my ethical obligation to act as an advocate for people whose voices are being discredited. Okay? It's my thing. So you may have seen, I have made some videos, right? Trying to help people understand the reality of how power dynamics work in therapy, why this makes sense as abuse, why Kendra's report makes sense, how to make sense of this in a way taking into account things like intersectionality, the intersection of power dynamics, right? I'm trying to help folks understand what dissociation is, which is kind of a really, really important thing when we're talking about our responses to people and things, okay? I'm not here to yell at people, but I will. Okay? So just, again, sometimes you have to remember this. I just like Kendra, am standing in reality in a bit of a scary place. So in order to be able to do that, because I'm a human being just like her, I'm going to have to access my fight response. So when I'm sort of like level setting, I want you to know what to expect. I am not going to hurt you, okay? I'm not going to come for you. I'm not going to, right? But I may need to yell my point across. And if something gets, right, activated, you're like, oh, what's this bitch doing? You just offer some feedback and we'll talk about it, okay? Safety is all about a shared reality. Safety is all about a shared reality. Now, here's the thing. If you're joining this community for the first time, one of the things that we do in here is if I say something that resonates for you, you put up a ladybug. Because the thing around trauma is it's hard to say out loud. So a lot of times it's hard to get it out. So what we do, instead of trying to make people give cohesive, clear reports, we go, if this feels like something that resonates for you, put a ladybug up. So if you see ladybugs, that's what this is. Now, do we have any questions right now? Okay. I'm getting a lot of questions on how could I possibly stand with Kendra, which to me is a real weird question, honestly. That's a real weird question, but that doesn't mean, right? Let me help you out here. What do you got, guys? What do you need to know? I can answer Brittany's question, which she did so beautifully in a video. And let me see if I can get this right. Brittany, will you please correct me if I'm wrong, if I get it wrong? But Brittany was essentially saying, okay, Brittany, I'm going to come back to that. Do you think he should have shut her down some? I think he should have contained her emotional response. Yes, Mel, this really is like I do feel like I'm in a Black Mirror episode, honestly, guys. Like, to be totally clear, like, I do feel that way. That's okay. That's okay. Nobody has to know, right? We don't have to, but like, okay. So do I think he should have shut her down some? So one of the things I'm not sure that folks sort of understand about being a mental health provider or a psychiatrist. So folks are kind of saying, like, what, he didn't do anything wrong. She's sexually abusing or assaulting or harassing, right? There was a fascinating video made that I put on my post, my story that was like, how could you say he's not a victim if she hugged him, given what his religion is, if she, told him sexually explicit things about a dream she had, or if she was physically larger than him, how could she be a victim? Okay, let's talk about this. So within a therapeutic relationship, okay, and again, hang in with me, Sarah Jean, I got you. That you're going to learn something here. You're not going to get it wrong if you can look at something through, like if you can take a bunch of steps back. So a lot of the arguments people are making, like on the surface, if someone is bigger than you, right, how are they vulnerable? If somebody is, putting sexually explicit, at you, how are they vulnerable? If somebody is touching you and sort of, again, this idea of ignoring, right, or not honoring, not seeing his humanity, right, how can that person be vulnerable? Well, let me explain this to you, because that's what I do. So when we are practitioners in mental health, we are treating emotions. Got it? Emotions. Even psychiatrists are trained in emotions, which means when our patients give us emotions, it is exactly what we expect. Okay? Again, I get, we'll have to fact check this, but did Kendra know that he was Muslim? Did Kendra know that he, would not want to be touched? If Kendra did not know that, within this dynamic, right, part of it, it is his job to inform. That's called containment, right? You have to think of any therapeutic relationship as being somewhat like parent-child. And I think that might be why we have dissociation 2025 happening, but again, so like what is happening here is folks are gripping onto these very kind of specific things, right? They're like, but this means he would be vulnerable and she wouldn't be, right? Big people are scarier than little people. Correct. But in the therapeutic room, right, in a room where this person, the patient, is coming to get help, that makes them vulnerable. And we're trained to be able to understand we're treating emotions. What are emotions? Emotional responses, emotional reactions. That's what she is literally describing. And what you are hearing her describe, which actually is, again, poor clinical treatment, is that he did not address them for 4 years. Now, what people are really freaking out about is like the specific language, which again, this really sort of leads me to believe that we are like intellectualizing this to the nth degree. We are not grounded ourselves in reality, right? We're not in reality, right? Reality is like grounded in, if you're talking about, we know in reality, there are many multiple truths. Right? Many things are true at once. What's happening is we're having a hard time seeing this experience through that lens, okay? Like he is a person of color. She is a white woman, right? Power dynamic. That must be it. That's it. There we go, right? But what I want you to think about is like what is happening in here in the entire collective, which is, again, going wild, is they're trying to figure out the wound. They're trying to figure out how this makes sense. And what I am yes, Vintage, I am commenting. I am standing in support of Kendra. If you have any questions about that, I'll help you, understand that. Why, as a licensed professional, I am going to stand with her. Okay. So where was I? What was I saying? Dissociation 2025. Multiple truths, right? Like that's where, again, we're really sort of getting lost in the sauce. And there is like this incredible need, drive, right? Intensity to be like, we have to figure this out. So what you are reacting to, my friends, is the why. And to be quite honest, you don't have that answer. You don't have that. Okay. That answer is the childhood trauma that Kendra said, right? Again, but she said she had. She said she told her physician what that childhood trauma was. And as mental health providers, we treat the people in front of us. It's specific to the trauma. Okay. And again, folks might be like, that's not DSM-y. Yeah. That's not, okay. The DSM is not always real life. Okay. We're just going to get clear on that. Again, there's a bit of a dissociated thing to the DSM. The DSM does not assume any environmental stimulus, okay? Which again is pretty dissociated. It takes a person entirely out of context. And people live in context. They respond to things that happen to them. They live in a world, okay? So part of like what you guys are all freaking out about is you're like, I don't get it. Yes, because the reason he failed her was he failed to treat her appropriately, given what had happened to her. Does that make sense? And if you're wondering what happened to her, it's what you're doing. Because we would call this, in the language of, trauma specialists, a reenactment. You picking up what I'm putting down? Right. This is about me and Kendra. We're just the same. Really taking this in. Maya, you're welcome to do that, but that's, I'm a licensed professional. Ah, yes, that's right. Right, Brittany, here you go. So That's true. But I want you to think about if somebody, let's see if I can do this analogy. If somebody had hurt their hand doing a particular thing, they used their hand for a particular thing, and you were treating them like you would want to treat their hand to get their hand to be better. But you would want to treat their hand to get it to be better based on, right, what it does. The hand exists functionality, right? So when we're working with childhood trauma, right, we're working with a core wound that shapes the way a person engages in functions in the world, right? And that comes, from something that happened. And if we don't, as providers, treat that wound, like when I say that's the wound, like that's like if you came to a hospital, right, to be like, it's ADHD. Yeah, what the fuck does that mean? Do you know? That's a diagnosis. But ADHD in a human being presents in different ways. So doctors, providers, we have to treat how it presents. This is what I'm saying. It has to make sense, right? What she's reporting is like she's presenting all of this to him, and he doesn't contain it, right? And again, you can make interferences to be like, well, how do you know she liked it? Well, I don't know. So I think there's a difference between sort of blindly supporting her. You don't have to do what I'm doing, okay? I'm doing this because, for God's sakes. Like, this woman is pretty impressive. Like, she is taking this. And again, that makes sense to me as somebody who works with people who have, survived trauma. It actually makes people very resilient. And the fact that she is like quite literally not falling apart, right? Like quite literally still taking care of herself, figuring out how to make what is happening work for her. Like, it's just so functionally fantastic. But again, you don't have to support her. Like, nobody said, and neither did she. She did not say you had to do anything about this psychiatrist. She just wanted to tell her story. She wanted to say what happened to her. None of you were obligated to do anything. What you really should be obligated to do is not, first of all, licensed providers who are walking around on the internet, trotting out diagnoses, you are obligated both ethically and like clinically to not do that. That's a no-no. That is a no-no. And, again, yeah, he diagnosed her with a trauma disorder, so he named it. But you treat people as a provider by responding to them. Okay, guys, right? Like, we are, as mental health professionals, we're not like wrapping up your body, right? Like, I'm not applying salves to your wounds. That's not what I do. I treat you by responding. I can tell if that's a child or a dog. If a child walks out here, I'm going to tend to that. But, okay, but Erica, that's such a great point. All we're talking about is what we know from her. We can't have his side. Yes, and you're defending him based on her language, which would mean she is somewhat defensive of him, which is exactly what you expect to see in the presentation of someone who is traumatized. The idea that you think that people who are harmed in relational trauma are just like, yeah, they're bad. That is not how this works, right? You have extrapolated his goodness and that he didn't do it and maybe it isn't that and all of that from her words. Could you consider that that's because she herself also feels protective of him, which would be meaningful for actually there having been abuse? Like, the fact that you think he is, you have essentially humanized him, right? and run to his defense is because of her language. What do I think Emily's saying? Kendra took advantage of her. I think Emily is exploitive. Like, I think she joined the hive. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. So it's not that they're both humans. They are. Nobody's questioning that, but somebody, we are truly orienting to his humanity far more than hers. Oh man. Okay. Hi guys. This feels like a real party. Okay. That's terrific. Thank you so much. About to get crazy. Listen, we'll see. Oh, thank you. Thank you. This is very exciting. I feel like now I'm just waiting for her. I don't know how to do that. How do I have Kendra? Do I invite her? Do we know? I have my, I just invited somebody. I'm so sorry. Whoever I invited, I did not mean for that. Well, how do I do that?
Only request.
Who?
Whoa, I read it.
Ah, I got it. Hello.
Hi, Abby.
Kendra, it's a pleasure.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
No, it's truly a pleasure.
There we go. Here we are. Hi.
Amazing. How do I make you big and me little? There we go. I got it. That's better.
I saw you were live and I was like, I have to go.
Please.
Thank you.
For God's sakes, you shouldn't be doing it alone.
I'm not alone. I have my
you're not.
mods. I have my incredible mods. I finally got a good team and I'm appreciative of them, but thank you so much for speaking up for me. And I love that you have 900 people in here now.
That was shocking. That really happened. Really, I mean, honest to God, I've got to tell you, again, this is what is happening to you. It is personal in that it is happening to you. It is evoked clearly, right? Yeah. But this is absolutely insane. You are not insane, to be clear.
Yeah.
You are not insane.
Thank you.
But this is insane.
You said something so brilliant in one of your vids, and it was the amount of transference that people are having for Kendra, or maybe it was in your live last night. It shows how much transference was in that room.
Literally, this was, yes, you are absolutely right. I had this aha moment. And again, anybody who's an actual clinician who does depth work and works with childhood trauma and actually knows how this stuff works, knows that this is evidence.
Exactly.
I'm sort of deeply kind of, but this is kind of if you're you don't, what happened to her? Well, this.
Yeah. And, so now I make people pay $3 if they want to comment. And I love that you said that. My mod was so funny. She was the haters are so mad that they don't have $3 to troll you.
I swear that people are how dare she set a boundary? I'm exactly. Again, are we not validating, right? Exactly. What she has said about what people are projecting? Exactly. This is right.
And so, yeah.
Yes.
Someone paid $3 to ask me, aren't you afraid that people won't want to be your therapist now? And I was like, okay. If anything, it's giving me a way to screen therapists.
Yeah.
To say, hey, this happened to me, and all of TikTok went against me after I spoke my truth. What do you think about it?
I mean, I think there's a couple of things here, and again, like, not all therapists are going to get it, right? So folks who are deeply grounded in like DSM, right, patriarch, Freudian, right, all this stuff, I mean, are not going to get it. But like, this is like very Jungian. This is very trauma coded. This is like, and truly, I think one of the things that sort of is fascinating to me is like, everybody has really seen the humanity of your psychiatrist. And I don't think they fully understand that they see that and feel that, because in the way you told the truth, right? You too were sharing like, you're not unclear about his humanity. And that's why everybody was like, he's a good man, Savannah. He's a good man.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know.
I know
yeah.
you know. I
I
know
know.
you know. I know.
It's crazy. And it's like the narrative that I'm this horrible person that has it out for him, that's trying to get him fired. Like I don't understand where that comes from.
So
Like,
may I give you
wait.
a take?
Yes.
Okay. So collectively, the internet has literally basically gone into who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, bad guy, good guy, good guy,
Yes.
good guy, bad guy.
Yes.
They cannot, right? And this is like really common when there is a wound, right? That people cannot see. Like, one of the things that I've said is that I certainly do not want, but I work with childhood trauma, and part of the reason that your psychiatrist did not do appropriate work is because he did not address the childhood trauma, right? Is what I get. So what I've said to everybody, I'm like, guys, we don't know the childhood trauma. He knew the childhood trauma, right? Kendra knows the childhood trauma. The AIs know the childhood trauma. You are not entitled to the childhood trauma, but we are seeing the world respond. I don't see it. Is it there? Is it not? Right? Which again is part of like,
Exactly.
right? So it's not, they can't, in the same way that like people don't want this to be true. They don't want to believe that, right? So they're trying to figure out how to make it make sense. And it's much more comfortable if you're bad. If you're the bad guy, it's much more comfortable.
What is the reason for that being comfortable? Because I'm a woman? Because I'm speaking out? Because I'm not being the perfect victim?
You're not. Yeah. I mean, again, like, I'm going to say this to you, real, recognize real. You're a woman who actually isn't in fawn response. So you're not being like, sure, oh God. Like, part of why this escalated was because people were like, you're crazy. And you weren't like, oh, yes, I am. Thank you so much for telling me. Oh my God. Right? Like, so they're like, she's delusional. She's not listening. Yes, there's a real fundamental thing here about the wild woman archetype, which is there's, Women Who Run with Wolves is a great book about kind of, right? And like, so it's that one, you're not playing fun. They can't figure out why you're not listening. And you're not listening because as much as you may, question, like, what happened, was it okay, right? You're not questioning what you felt, right? Exactly. What was real. Yeah.
Exactly.
And so people are having real hard time with that.
Yes, they are.
They
are. A question I get a lot in my DMs and on my lives before I went subscriber only, and even then, like, people be like, do you take advice? Like, you're not listening to anybody. And I'm like, okay, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Like, who I'm taking advice from? ethical therapists and psychiatrists who hold space for my truth while also sharing their own. Like,
People who
that's
know
who I'm
me.
listening to.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know you. Who are you? What's your qualifications? You just have an opinion?
Yes, the opinions. And it's just, I just appreciate you so much for, I know that it's exhausting standing up to me.
Listen,
And yeah,
it's meaningful,
it's meaningful.
right?
Thank you. Yes. And I was trying to explain that to my spiritual mentor today because she was like, when you told me that you needed prayers and I saw what was coming, I felt really afraid for you. I'm like, yeah, well,
Feels right.
fair. I chose to keep going because I myself kept praying about it, and it's what happened. So,
Well, I mean, again, it's the idea that you're having spiritual delusions. Like I have said to people, I'm like, again, and maybe this is, but like part of what really helped me in my healing was going to Al-Anon,
yeah,
right? That's a 12-step program. Folks who do not know, 12-step is it is a program of spiritual recovery.
yeah,
They were like, she talks to God. I'm like, well, yeah, that's actually in 12-step. They encourage you.
yeah. Anyone
They
can talk
actually,
to
you
God.
get to get, like, that's a thing. And you follow the rules, like, and what I think people sort of fail to understand is like, why would you do this? Why would you not give up? Well, because you're doing this for a higher purpose, for a greater good.
Yeah.
Right? That it has to be connected to that. I mean, when I started this platform to talk about, my work around childhood sexual abuse and like how terrifying that was and how, everybody is silenced. It was terrifying, but it was for a greater good. It's because somebody had to talk about it, right?
Mhm.
Somebody had to stand up for this. And I think there really is just this absolute, well, it has to, who you would only do this if you were really getting something out of it. And it's like, well, not if you are doing it for a greater good.
Exactly. What I'm getting out of it is, one, I'm healing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I'm showing myself that I am full of courage.
Yes.
Three, the DMs that I'm getting
Yes, there it is. Yep.
from women and some men
Yeah.
who are saying, I've been in love with my therapist for years and I didn't realize how inappropriate it was until you shared your story.
Yes.
One woman was like, my therapist became my boyfriend and he's 10 years older than me. And I just don't know what to do. I was like, oh my gosh. And I just talked to her about it. And then 2 days later, she was like, I want you to know that I broke up with him. Like Abby.
I know.
Abby, like this is it, is that there are therapists who are predatory everywhere. And you say this in your videos, that people do not want to believe that there are bad people in the mental health field. So they're making me the bad person.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, again, I think this is really like, I make the joke and I like to make jokes, which I understand that like you all, if anybody, like you only get through things if you can make it funny in certain ways, right? So I'm eternally like, this is patriarchy 2025, the great dissociation, right? Like what is really happening here is like people do not want to believe that they are unsafe in safe places.
Exactly.
Right? That is too
Yes. Yes.
Too much. And the reason they don't want to believe that, right, is they don't want to believe their own experiences of that. Like part of this is like, the narrative. There was one, there was like a message that was like, I can't believe the two of you. And it was so funny to me because I was thinking about it from like a place of like, like reality. Like, you cannot believe that we are real. And I was just like, yeah, clearly you cannot believe it. Cannot believe
that ethical providers and, someone who's willing to speak out about unethical providers are real. And it's so funny because like, this is literally the first time we've ever talked. Like it was so fun hopping into your live. So what happened yesterday was while I was live and I was like messaging with my mod, a few people were coming in and telling me like, hey, this woman's been at bat for you all day. And so I decided to pop in because my light like went out, and usually I'm on live for like a couple hours, but I know that my light went out because I was meant to hear what you had to say. Because I've spent the last week just having people say horrible things to me. And it was really special that you didn't know that I
didn't know.
No. I know you didn't. And it made it that much better because I was like, oh, this woman is just speaking right to me and she doesn't even know it. And it just was like, yep, okay, I'm gonna keep going. And it's also just a reminder that because that's the other thing, is that there are ethical providers that are in my DMs too. Saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Like, I'm horrified that your therapist didn't help you with your transference for your psychiatrist and that your psychiatrist didn't like refer you out. That's crazy. Or, because some of the worst people actually are therapists in training.
They know far too little, but believe they know a great deal. Yes, this is really,
Exactly. And so, but those people that are like, hey, I'm in school and I just so appreciate you sharing your story because I'm really learning a lot from it. I'm like, oh, thank God. There are people that like want to do better and not just protect, And a lot of I also don't like the narrative that I completely made up the story about the guy I went on the hiking date with. People are saying that I just lied to make my story sound more credible.
I mean, again, I'm like, I really don't understand where folks are like, oh yeah, she's doing this all for the what? I'm like, what are you doing?
For the what?
For the what? This woman has been like literally eviscerated.
My life was good. Like you
were fine, right? You were fine.
My life was really good, and it's still good. It is.
Sure, but nobody would be like, yeah, this is a party. I'm loving this. This is no.
And for that guy to be like, this is a grift. I'm like, yeah, $3. Like, okay.
I just love it. It's how dare you not allow me to say whatever I want to her and about her.
Exactly.
I'm like, what? I'm sorry. Are we not are we not hearing ourselves? Like, people are like, she's psychotic. First of all, I keep being like, guys, you thinking that you, first of all, as just a human, can assess for psychosis, right? Like, you have no training. Like, what you're doing is psychotic and devoid from reality. Like, they don't know you, and you are giving them, right, a picture, a moment in your life, but like, everyone's like, we don't have all the information. I'm like, of course you don't fucking have all the information. You're not entitled to all the information. She's a whole person. There's no way you can know everything about her.
Exactly.
Why do you think, like, truly, why do you feel you are entitled to it?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I truly do not understand. And like, the fact that, I mean, I've had people like, it's so, are you familiar with Darvo?
Yes. I've been explaining it on my live every night. Every night I've been telling people about how people are Darvoing me. Yes. They're like, what's Darvo? I'm like, let me tell you about
Darvo.
And let's tell, people are so excited that they get to be in the chat for this one.
I love it. Everybody's like,
I hope you all know I'm not looking at any of the comments.
I know.
None of them.
I
none of them.
Either. But the fact, I mean, again,
So let's explain to everyone, all 5,700 people that are in here, what Darvo is, right? So people are denying my story.
Mm-hmm.
They're attacking my character, my livelihood, my well-being, my home, my friends, my family. They're attacking everything
Yep.
that they possibly can, you know. My yoga studio that I used to work out, everything.
Yep.
Everything. And then they're reverse victim and offender.
Yeah.
So everyone in the chat,
That's what Jarvo
they're
is.
making me the offender and the psychiatrist who held all of the power, the victim. So Jarvo, deny, attack, reverse victim, offender. And I love having you here, like, because I think about it all the time.
That's
All
Jarvo.
the time. I'm like, this is Darvo. TikTok is Darvoing me.
Yes, they are. They are. And one of the things I think is really important, you know, Darvo comes from the research on is by Dr. Jennifer Freyd, who's this expert in betrayal trauma. And she started to study this because she recovered her memories of abuse and attempted to hold her perpetrator accountable. And they created the False Memory Foundation to discredit her. But the wonderful thing about the truth, and again, this is where I kind of like sit here with this and I'm like, look, whatever the collective, you know, patriarchal vomit that is happening, you know, towards you right now, the truth is the truth. It does not require belief. It will come to light. Like, just let it, you know, it will. And so Dr. Jennifer Freyd, you know, the False Memory Foundation, you can't have that, like all this stuff, right? Everybody believed it for a little while. She was the, what do you call it? The, not that we're, being like the psychiatric, but the, what's the, Lenny fact checks for me. You haven't met Lenny here.
Well, let's see Lenny.
Lenny, here's Lenny.
Who's Lenny? Oh my gosh. Hey, Lenny, what's up? Oh my gosh. Oh, it's a real person, not an AI.
What? Yeah,
You can't claim AI psychosis for you and Lenny.
No. Well, but Lenny and I both reality check with, I mean, again, we can talk about AI and how it is helpful when, you know, working with isolation and,
yeah.
right? What is it? The American Psychiatric Association. Dr. Jennifer Freyd was Person of the Year. She was at Stanford. She basically is the one who studied Darvo and put out all the research about it. So like, not only, you know, she knew about it and she lived it. Oh, yes. So, should introduce myself, Kendra. Is that all right? My name is Abby.
Please, Abby.
I'm Abby. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I believe people make sense. And I predominantly work with survivors of childhood trauma. And so when this was happening, and I essentially saw the way in which the world was responding to Kendra and overstepping their boundaries, right? All of these boundaries. I said, hang on, people make sense. And I believe Kendra does. So that's why I'm here. And I love it. I've already had people like, some guy today was like, I looked up your license and you, you know, it was, I mean, truly it was like, your license was not, I forget, it was like, whatever. But turns out, thank God he did this because I had forgotten to renew it because I didn't get the paperwork. So he was trying to be like you. And I was like, thank you so much. I don't know where I put that, but like, here it is. Thank you. So yes, I am licensed. You're welcome to report me and do all these things. You're allowed to do that.
That's hilarious.
You know, like there will be an investigation. We'd have to prove your allegations. Like you're not going to ruin my career if I didn't do anything wrong, which me talking to Kendra in this space and being like, hi, I'm going to orient to her humanity and believe she is a person and treat her like a human being. You know, I if you want to report that, that's cool.
No.
Go right on ahead.
Oh my gosh. I know.
I know. Everyone's like, I told Lenny, you know, first of all, though, I'm relatively used to being in this position. in a certain way. Like I'm pretty comfortable with being not believed. I'm pretty comfortable with a good fight, and it's a lot easier to do it in service
Yeah.
of something that is, you know. So again, it's the right thing to do. You know, it's the right thing to do, and I really wish that people could kind of see that treating you like a human being is the right thing to do.
You know, people are like, have you lost any friends from this? I was like, no, it's been the opposite. Like,
exactly.
people that I haven't talked to in 10 years are coming out of the woodwork and saying, how can I support you? I'm seeing
Because
what's
they
happening
know
to
you.
you. Exactly.
Right. It's not like what these people are doing. It's a projection. Like, it's just, yeah, it's all their stuff.
Right. So you guys, some of you are saying that I blocked you. Like, no, there were several nights in a row where I had mods that were just blocking everyone that were like saying nice things to me or like sending me gifts. So if you were blocked by me, I'm really sorry. I'm not sorry. I learned a valuable lesson with the mods, but yeah, like people are just attacking me. Even like from the it was like the most insidious thing.
I mean, someone just said, am I doing something wrong diagnosing you? I'm like, guys, to be clear, the thing I'm doing is actually not diagnosing Kendra.
Right.
The thing I'm doing is being like, hey, human, you seem to be being attacked, and I'm just going to come and sit here with you and be like, hey, I think you're a human being too, right? I'm not diagnosing Kendra.
Yeah, no.
I'm not doing
seeing my humanity.
That did. I'm
seeing my humanity.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here with you as a human being to be like, what the ever-loving fuck is going on?
Yeah, and like I will just say that you have clocked so much in your videos, and I can't wait to DM you about it because, like,
yeah, I know. So
it's textbook. Like what happened with psychiatrist was textbook.
I mean, again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know yes. Mm-hmm. And again, the fact that people feel like they're fully entitled to the entire, I'm just like, for fuck's sake, guys.
Yeah.
Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it isn't true. Like,
exactly. And that's, I was actually talking to another ethical therapist today, and she was like, you seem really intuitive.
Yeah.
And that's what's a lot of people also can't understand is that you were able to pick up on things between you and psychiatrists that other people who just don't have those abilities can't.
Right.
And I'm like,
yeah. I mean, again, people love to be like, what? There's research that validates that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people love to throw out the DSM as being like the only peer-reviewed thing that validates human experience, and like that's not true.
Yeah.
And like, again, if anybody actually is really interested in learning about that, that's great. But people need to stop. They have to stop like dissociating, intellectualizing, mentating, right? To be able to hear it. And part of what's happening is like people are freaking out, and so they can't, right? They can't like take it in to be like, yo, not everything, everyone. Yeah.
Here's the funny thing, Abby, is people are like, do you ever self-reflect? Do you ever? And then like these people aren't even taking the time to watch my video.
No. That's what I'm saying. I cannot tell you how many times in the comments, just in my videos, where people will say something and I'll be like, that's not what I said.
I know.
Like, I made a joke to Len. I was like, do we need to literally make a transcript of these videos to be able to be like, okay, let me point to like what was actually said? Because there seems to be,
I know.
There's just this, I mean, it's dissociation. It's dissociative. And it's dissociative. So, people
we'll bring it back to what you said, that people don't want to believe that there are unsafe people in safe spaces.
Or it's their own stuff. You know, like, again, in this, there's no way to describe the level of feeling about you without being like, I think this might be about these people. Like, again, there was, when someone else said it wonderfully, when it like occurred to me, because there was I was like, oh shit, like people are really reacting to this woman in an insane, like, this is huge. And somebody said, it was like, yeah, exactly like you said, like a salad of emotion. This is literally a salad of emotion.
Like if psychiatrist was anything, he was funny and smart, you know, and he used it. Like, it was a great way to say that without saying it, right? That he was feeling a lot.
I mean, I'm just like if you would look at the comments, this to me is a true salad of emotion. Like, I am just, there's a lot.
Once again, you know, it's reflecting right what happened in that room.
Yeah.
The humanity.
It's called reenactment. It's like,
it's ugly.
It's ugly, but it's also like, it's pure, you know, it's evidence-based. This is what happens. And again, you know, it's fine. It's not fine. Like, what people are doing with that is fine. But, you know, what people are doing with that is not fine. But, like, it's normal that this happens to people. And we have to figure out how to stop the harm, right? That's part of, like, I talk a lot about on my platform, you know, like, we want to diagnose harm, not people, because people make sense. And so to me in this space, like, it's just like, obviously the goal right now is to stop the harm. And I think one of the things I just want to clarify for the people calling for 5150 holds or sending welfare checks to your house or being like this, like, we don't. So people who we need to do that for, right? Like, are not, as another provider, they're not functioning very well. Like, that's a real thing, guys. And part of, I think, what people don't understand is like how you could be functioning really well in this. You're just, you know, again, like you said, you go.
Because, like, that's the thing is that, yeah, I wasn't doing well because psychiatrist did not treat me well.
Right.
Like, it's not my mental health. And even that's the thing that, you know, a lot of ethical providers point out. Like, even if I was in mania, even if I was in psychosis.
Sure. We'd believe you.
Yeah.
That's how we would treat you.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how you treat people. Like, again, folks are like, well, what do you know? If you have a psychotic patient, you treat within delusions. And in the history of treating people, right? Nobody has ever been like, hey, you're crazy. And that's helped. Like, that has never been the mode, right? So, like, when I say, like, you know, treat within the delusions, like, people will actually, you know, you don't go, hey, you're crazy. You go, hey, why do you think that? Hey, what's going on? You treat, right? Like, this is.
Yeah. And, like, look at how many people, like, when I was in here last night and nobody knew, it was like 80 people. Like,
this people is crazy. Like, what the fuck are people saying? This is crazy.
I know.
What are you doing?
Like,
are you just sitting in your houses shouting that the two?
Yeah, somebody's sending over and over. Let's give them. Like, come on.
Why are you so? Can you reflect? Why are you so obsessed? Why is it so important that, you know, this woman stopped speaking?
I know, but instead they're gonna ask me, do I self-reflect? Not self-reflect on themselves.
I mean, honest to God, it's like a Black Mirror episode. I truly am just like, what the hell is going on?
Truly.
And the whole thing with the eyes also, and people have been, I'm like, you know, I imagine she's reacting to you, because one of the things that I keep doing, and I see it in myself, someone will put like an absolutely obscene comment, and like, I literally am like I'm
out of here, Posey.
Sorry, that's Lenny and the cat.
Okay. Hey, Lenny.
You have to mute yourself.
I thought I was muted.
No,
Sorry.
you're fine. But I told Lenny, so Lenny and I have known each other since childhood. And one of the things that, again, because but this is scary. Like, it's scary to come out here. I mean, again, I know you're not presenting as scared, but this itself as an experience is scary. So, it's very scary. Like, guys, why are you scaring everybody?
Yeah. I don't because they themselves are scared.
Exactly. You got it.
Right? Yeah.
And it's of what?
Yeah.
What is she gonna do?
Exactly. Yeah. I guess my truth is dangerous to all of these therapists and in training or, other patients, whatever it is. But yeah.
It's your certainty.
It's
that
my
you're not,
that I'm not backing down. That's what people, before I went to subscriber only in my comments, that's what people would say that all the time. Like, how can you be right but everyone else is wrong? I'm like, it's easy because I was the only one that was there in the room with him. That's how I'm the one that's right.
Yeah.
Is because my experience is valid.
Yeah.
My lived experience is real and nobody can take that away from me.
Right. And again, I think people just fully do not grasp that as mental health providers, we treat emotions and reactions.
Right.
That's the expression of the wound of whatever it is we're treating. So the idea that first of all, that you have harassed, right? Or that you made him uncomfortable. First of all, when people are you told him about a sexual dream and it made him uncomfortable. I'm has anybody heard of Freud? Anybody? Because he's a psychiatrist and that's what his job was all, right? I'm not clear on what the fuck is going on.
It's the Darvo again of because the reality is that man could have easily stopped me.
Well, that's his job.
Exactly.
To contain it. I think that's
he could have contained it.
That's the job. That's the again, it's not that's literally his job. We treat people's reactions, we treat their emotions, we try to give them a corrective emotional experience. And again, people are well, what this means intent. He didn't have to mean to cause harm for harm to exist. No, that's part of that's not
because he was I don't think so. What I tell people is that I just think that his God complex got in the way. He thought he could handle it.
Yeah, it's egoic. It's his ego.
It's his ego. Right. He thought that he was above getting supervision. He thought that he was above naming what was going on and that he was just so good that he could manage it. And he harmed himself and me in the process.
Exactly. And that's a really beautiful way to put it. And it's again, what people really reacted to was the language, right? People are victim perpetrator. But I think, again, if anybody who can see this this from a place of reality, right, understands that what you were saying, they're not accusations. You really talked about, he is a human being. You talked about how he didn't do anything wrong in right, and again, they're she said he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, because she's saying again, this is a really, really difficult, hard, painful place. And it was still his responsibility because he was the provider to be able to know what to do with this. And if he didn't know, to go get support and help to do it. Right. And that's just that's full stop. And again, you're discrediting yourself. I'm guys, you can Google it. That's fine. Just Google it. That's I'm not saying anything that is not Googleable.
Yeah.
And harm, again, I just want to be clear, harm is not intent. People seem to be really harm is what happens. And so when a patient says this hurt me, when that's harm. You have to treat it. You have to meet it. And like what you said in your right, when you told, what happened, and you were like, this is what happened to me, you were talking about the harm to you. You weren't like, and I'm going to report him and get him and attack him. The internet did that.
The internet did that. And yeah. And it's just like, people just weigh in.
Well, they inserted themselves in it, which again is like a very, there's a thing happening here that like is pretty dissociative at large, where folks have just sort of said, you're everything. Like, I can't tell you how many videos I was seeing where I'm like, Kendra, I had a mother, Kendra was my mother. And like that mother is like all these different things. They're narcissistic, they're schizoid, they're this, they're that, right? Kendra was my perpetrator. Kendra was my friend. I had a
wow.
I'm like,
people are
guys,
saying
Kendra's Kendra. Do you not see that if you're making Kendra everything, then
wow,
this is about you, not Kendra.
Exactly. Like people saying, we only have one side of the story. Like, yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
That's correct.
Flip that on yourself too.
Yeah. Well done, guys. You just named the truth there. Congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
I just saw what Kendra says. Kendra is a criminal. I'm like, guys, what the fuck are you
doing? Are you in love with
is-
Abby yet? Are you like,
yeah.
This is, but people just don't want to accept that like people in power can groom. Like a lot of people have messaged me like, you don't know what grooming is. You're wrong. I'm like, oh. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, like, grooming is about a power dynamic. Yeah, grooming is about a power dynamic. Like, yes, again, grooming, like, folks have gotten real caught up on language. They're real caught up on language. And, like, there's a reason that therapists, like, you cannot date your therapist, right? There's a reason. And there's a reason that there's in our code of ethics that therapists, really, it's therapists cannot date clients. It's not clients can't date their therapists, to be clear.
Right. Yeah, because we're not under code of ethics.
Right. But exactly. At least for therapists, I don't know what it is for psychiatrists, but if you see somebody, you have to wait 2 years because you literally are honoring the fact that you acknowledge your patient will have a lot of feelings for you because you are this important person in their life, that they wouldn't be able to consent to a relationship from a place without coercion, without a 2-year window to let them get clear. Like that literally honors exactly what you're talking about, right? Like there are rules about protecting patients by giving them, by being like, yes, we know that, patients will feel for their providers. And so we don't want them to be coerced or moved by those feelings or mistake, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, Abby, this was really special. I just wanted to pop on here and say thank you. And, I trust that you've been blessing and blocking like me.
Yeah, I mean that Lenny's really good at that.
Oh yeah.
I'm slow. So
smashing that block button. Cause like you and I just talked about, like people just don't want to hear reality. And so who am I to want to shift that for them?
No, it's very healthy to sort of, stop harm, to be like, no, I'm not going to allow you to hurt me. I know you want to, but I'm not going to allow you to. That's actually, that's very good. We want to do that. So, but no, truly just know I'm here. You are a real person. There are many people out there who know you are a real person, and, ignore this. This is not about you. It can't. There is no way it could be. But do make the best of it by,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, but that's by charging $3.
Yeah, exactly. But like, for God's sake.
Also, yeah, like people are saying because I lost that yoga job, people are like, I'll pay extra for my subscription to do yoga with you on TikTok Live. Like,
Listen,
things are gonna be fine.
God forbid a woman won't stay down. You're supposed to be shamed here. Like, you're supposed to really, yeah, God forbid you make, like, that's really the problem. People are not seeing.
People are not. It's like I
No.
said earlier in the live that I'm not being the perfect victim.
Oh no, you're a terrible woman. You're not listening. You're not going, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You're not, putting other people's experiences, male experience above your own. You're like, no, I'm real. I'm here. And again, like feminist theory would be like, yep, we got it. Like, this is kind of what you expect.
Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to say to all the commenters that aren't my subs, I hope you had a lot of fun pouring everything out into Abby's comments.
Yes, guys.
Abby, thank you so much for being
You're welcome.
just rooted in truth and reality and a voice for ethical providers everywhere. And I cannot wait to DM you to tell you more about like just how skilled your pattern recognition is. I'm going to go do that right now. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Oh, it's
Keep
my favorite.
going. Your courage is terrific.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who sent gifts on Abby's
yes, thank
live.
you.
That's so nice. And to Abby, like that's really nice.
Send them to her. I'm fine.
No, they
but I mean, I
sent a
could.
lot. Yeah. All right. Thanks again, Abby, for having me. And yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh my. Well, that was amazing. Okay, should we just then look at the comments? Oh man. Into the lion's den, huh? Into the lion's den. Hey, it isn't the first time I've been here. But it's good to take risks on behalf of someone's humanity. That will always be the right thing. Why are you staring into my eyes? When did you cut your hair? Whew. No, guys, basically, it's, again, why am I standing with Kendra? Because I get it. I think she makes sense. So, I'm a licensed therapist, so enabling sometimes can I explain how I think Kendra makes sense? Would you like me to explain how I think people make sense? I don't believe her side. I believe her humanity. I believe she is a real person. And I believe that your collective response to her is so wild, right? So wild that it actually is suggestive of what has happened to her. Because that's how trauma talks. Thank you for my hat. I truly, this is really wild. Like, guys, first of all, I just want to slow y'all down here. Thank you so much for this outfit. But I am not believing a story. I am believing a human being. Okay, I am seeing Kendra and I'm going, hey, there's a human being there who makes sense. And to be clear, I think her psychiatrist is also very much a human being who makes sense. Okay? That's what I think. Okay. That's all. So I think that as a provider, so if you are a provider, if you are actually somebody who really believes in the work you do, then you don't just talk a good game, you show up. Okay? So what I saw on the internet was a woman, right? A person just expressing what had happened to them, right? And again, fully owning that it was their perspective. And the internet went insane. This response to a person this is not normal. And I would say that to you because I'm sure there are many other people who are telling their stories of harm on the internet. But this one went in, this was crazy. And I have my own, right, feelings or intuitions as to why that is the case. But again, to be clear, as an advocate, so part of my role, right? It felt like a duty to show up and show you that there was another person who is saying, yo, she's a human being. Okay? Let's start there. Let's just believe she is a human being. She cannot ruin his life. Okay, let's be clear. How many people have been like, Abby, what's your license number? How many people have looked me up? How many people have like, right, I already had somebody be like, this was your license. It said it wasn't registered. Thank you so much for telling me that because I'm really bad at logistics. So, I forgot to renew it. So thank you so much. Now it's renewed. Right? But like, you are allowed to do that. Like if all of you want to go and report me for this, you're allowed to. That's totally okay. Totally okay. Because then what would happen is there would be an investigation. Right? So like that's actually how that works. Like you can do that. You can make any accusations you want. But if I am acting, right, appropriately, like it'll be okay. No, I'm not. No, I have a license. A couple of them. Well, the thing about abuse is it survives and thrives in isolation. And Kendra was extraordinarily isolated. Again, not, likely in her life, as she said, like that's, but she was online and, that's like, it's the right thing to do. I really don't know. It's the right thing to do is to just show up. Yeah, it's like reporting immediately. Go ahead. I am trauma informed, which is why I'm here. And I know you don't understand that, but I do. And Kendra does too. I'm not feeding. I am treating her like a human being. And I don't really understand why you guys can't tell the difference. No, I didn't. It's so fast, honestly. Like this is a wild ride, you guys. Like, can you just like take a beat and think about what it's like to like sit on the other side of this? And quite literally, like I'm a person Hi, my name is Abby. I believe people make sense. I'm a therapist. I'm a survivor of childhood trauma. I built this platform to support survivors of childhood trauma, right? That's what I do. And to like sit here, right? I saw somebody being abused on the internet, and it made sense to me, right? What was happening. So I went to help. And like that's okay, guys. That's a good thing. But like, whoa. Like there are 2,000 people like shouting at me right now. That's wild. And like shouting at me from like, I don't even know. That's crazy. I'm monetizing? I heard a vulnerable person. Okay. So does anybody know about dissociation? Do you guys know what that is? Anyone? No, I'm asking Jay a question. Do you guys know what dissociation is? Yes. Okay. So I work with folks who are, who literally so basically, childhood trauma often creates dissociation. This is not therapy. This is just me kind of explaining to you, right? Like a lot of how I do my work, right? So childhood trauma often creates dissociation. Dissociation is when we basically separate what we feel in our body from what we're thinking in our head, okay? It like we have a big feeling and it's too big, too feelingy, so we try to disconnect from it by an intellectualizing, right? We start thinking. To be clear right now, that's like, this is insane. This is what is coming at me is just like a ton of wild thoughts. And what I'm trying to say to you is like, hey guys, hey, right? Let's all just slow down. Kendra is a human being, okay? Her psychiatrist is a human being. Right? They are both real people. What happened is not up for debate. It's not something that we need to like solve, okay? They both know what happened. He has protections because of his role, right? So again, you can report me all you want, right? If I did something wrong, we'll find out, that'll be investigated, right? It's okay. You're allowed to do that, right? My name is on the internet. You can post about me, you can name me, you're not doxing me, it's okay. Right? He has protections, and she didn't have any, right? Again, I know we can talk about privilege and power differentials and all that stuff, all of which are true. In this space right here, right now, the human being, right, need to be like, hey, she's human. But again, I think we're having a bit of a difficult time sort of accepting that collectively, right? I think that's kind of happening right now. Oh my God. Lenny, how fast are you going on this? I mean, I can't even take it in. You want to meet Lenny? People are going to be like,
It's really fast.
This is Lenny.
It's really fast.
This is Lenny. There's Lenny. Lenny and I have a good story, but is there a question I should answer? How do people keep up with this? How do I attend to this? How do I do this? Like, I can't even see it. Right. So
do you want me to read you some questions that I was able to write down?
maybe that might be helpful.
Do you want me to read you some questions that I was able to write down? Maybe that might be helpful.
It's really something. Okay, so for folks are asking, first of all, you're entitled to know like who I am. My name is Abby. It's Abigail Gunn. That's my name. I am a licensed mental health counselor, licensed professional counselor. There's two different designations because I'm licensed in different states, and different states have different labels for that. I've been in practice since 2018. Is that right? Yeah. Most of my training, if you wanted to know where I went to school, all of this is Googleable, so I'm happy to share it. I went to the University of California, Irvine for undergrad and studied sociology. And then I got my master's degree at Hunter College, City of New York in New York City. And I did the majority of my training at the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, specializing and working at the intersection of substance use, sexual health, and really trauma. And also at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, where I worked with folks around end of life, and kind of how to negotiate that. And because this will be weaponized no matter what, so, I can fully own this. I myself am a survivor of childhood trauma, specifically childhood sexual abuse, and I created the platform that I stand on to essentially, help people. So, that's who I am. I'm a real person, and, you can, but I'm also a therapist. So I'm here as a real person and a therapist. Okay. Do I think Kendra is the oracle? Okay, this was a really interesting question. Do you guys remember, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you guys remember like a couple months ago when there was a thing going around TikTok talking about like you naming your AI, or like what was your AI's name, and then everybody asked the AI what their name was, and then there was another one like, what did your AI name you? Do you guys remember this? Because I just remember this because that I did this, but I did it because, right? So like, I don't know about you, but my AI is named Felix. Again, like it has a name because it was activated by this particular phenomenon. Yeah, Pixel Storm, that's so good. And then I forgot what Lenny's was. But whatever. So they can tell us. But there also was like, what does your AI name you? So like the idea of like, I'm not hearing what you're hearing. Like I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I didn't see that Kendra said, I am the oracle. Okay, I didn't. Is that what I saw? Right? Like, I'm not clear if other people saw that. Also, like, how many folks are having a hard time tracking me? Like, how many folks feel sort of confused, right? Looking at me, like, is that happening for anybody? Yeah, I'm not clear at all. Yeah, you? Yeah, confused. I don't make sense. Yep, that's pretty solid. Okay. Yep, this is a whole thing, guys. That is actually what I would expect. Again, I am sort of the opinion that there is a collective dissociative response happening. So if you can't tell if I make sense, then right, you cannot tell. I get it. That makes sense to me that you cannot tell. As a therapist, as a licensed provider, that makes sense to me. So I just want you to know that. Oh, the thing about CBT. Okay, people, again, I'm not sure, this is Googleable. So I'm just going to say this out loud. You can Google it too. You don't have to believe me. You can just Google it. Cognitive behavioral therapy does not have to be done by therapists. Okay, it has the word therapy in the name, but lots of things do, like cryotherapy, right? Like red light therapy. like therapy, to actually practice therapy, you have to be licensed to be a therapist. But CBT is something that can be done by paraprofessionals. Okay? A lot like somatic experiencing therapy. Again, you need to be in like a helping profession, but you can, learn to do it and do it. That's true. Someone goes, that's absolutely not true. Okay, I encourage you to Google that. No, I'm not spiraling, baby. Okay, I get it. You can't tell if I'm spiraling. I'm not spiraling. You're spiraling. This is dissociative. Am I sober? Yup. Yep. I'm condescending. Yeah, I've gotten that feedback before. I do not mean to be condescending to you. If you're receiving it that way, right? I sometimes want to speak more slowly, because if this is really activating, like if folks are getting really activated by me, I want to make sure that I'm, being thoughtful. I'm being, practicing safety. Like I want to, okay? So I'm not trying to be condescending. It's just when there's a lot of feeling in the collective room, it's my job as a therapist to make sure that I'm doing this safely with you guys, okay? So I'm not saying you are dissociating. I cannot see you. I cannot see you to assess you. What I am saying is, right, what I'm looking at as a kind of pattern, as a theme, as like the way in which the response, which again, you're part of the response, right? The response is very dissociative. So I'm not diagnosing you, to be clear. Nope. Nobody's saying you're crazy. No one thinks you're crazy. I can barely see your comments, Ruby. There's so many comments. I can't. Hold on. Okay, so let me discuss with you real quick the unreliable narrator comment. So, oh shit. Hold on one second. I will be right back. Are you a I'm back. I just had to make sure everything at home is taken care of. I understand there's already an account named Abby is an abuser. Okay. Fuck. We're going to take a deep breath. And we are going to continue to try to treat all parties here with humanity. Okay. Yeah. You know, I assumed the projection would continue. Yes, he specializes in schizophrenia. I understand you have Googled that. That has nothing to do with what anybody was diagnosed with, which you have already understand what Kendra was diagnosed with. So again, let's just keep grounding this in reality. Nobody's abusing, right here, right now. I'm not saying, anything about him as a human being. I'm saying that power dynamics create abuse. And if we don't, as providers, treat the wound, then the wound gets bigger. And right now, the wound is in the collective. Okay? Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. The wound is in the collective. Like, one of the things I would just invite everybody to think about is, why do you feel so much? Because those are your feelings. They belong to you. They are happening in reality. Let's be clear. They are happening in reality. But they are your feelings. They are not facts. Okay? Now, I have a valid license. As I shared earlier, I don't know if folks know this, but so I have a license. You have to renew your license, and they typically send you something in the mail. I moved, so I did not get that thing in the mail. So when somebody, looked up my license, because it said, hey guys, Kendra's a human being. Let's just, look at that for a hot minute. They were like, your license is not registered. That just means I forgot to renew it. And you have 4 months, right? That's very good. You just have 4 months. So thank you to that person, because then I was able to renew it, and I appreciate that. So when you check my license again, which you will, it's not that it's not unlicensed. You have 4 months. So I'm still licensed. It's just you have to renew it within those 4 months. I'm within those 4 months. Okay. But again, you can report me. That's okay. You're allowed to. You're allowed to. Oy, oy, oy. Did I receive an education? Holy shit. Holy shit, you guys. This is fucking nuts. Wow. Wow. I mean, the fact that I showed up and was like, hey, Kendra's a real person, and there's now literally a thing that says Abby is an abuser, is amazing. Like, guys, my platform is literally about advocating for survivors of child abuse. I don't know if you are fully understanding that what resonated, by Kendra's own report. Again, I don't know what kind, but she said she experienced childhood trauma. It is my job to advocate for her as a human being. And the response that the internet has literally besieged her with is beyond anything I can really even take in. So I had to do something because that's what's right. I'm not enabling anybody. I'm not enabling anybody. I'm literally believing she is a human being. And again, I am believing reality, which is, as a licensed professional, when I work with a patient, I am engaged in a power dynamic with them. I understand that I have to be the good grown-up. They are going to give me, right, in their reactions, in their feeling, in all of that. That's part of the treating data, is literally their emotions, their feelings, all of this stuff. And it's my job to respond to it. I'm really that's the power dynamic. It's like a parent and a child. And I know we're talking about two adults, but this is how it works, guys. It's just how it works. And so when I am literally seeing everybody kind of lose the thread on how this works, and somebody, I don't know what to tell you about why you think it's enabling to be I need to try to stop the harm. There's a difference between a meaningful discourse, right? A difference between validating his humanity and her humanity and what you are doing. And literally, I have never seen anything like this. I have never seen licensed providers who we all know we cannot diagnose anybody off the internet. We know that. That's 100%. This is not a radical idea. That's so, we can't do that. And they did it to her. I don't understand how they forgot that reality too. I don't understand that. I'm not her therapist. I am a person who saw another person being abused by the entire TikTok community. And I said, holy shit. We expect patience. Okay, so again, I think you guys aren't really getting it. I know he's a psychiatrist, right? I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I practice therapy. But I don't think you fully understand what we expect patients to do, right? And particularly given what the wound is they walk in with. But I have had patients, right? Male patients, to be clear, and female patients do things that you would call sexual harassment, things that were quote unquote inappropriate, right? All of that within the therapeutic relationship. And my job is to help them to understand where that is coming from, to help them understand that behavior, right? What is happening is an expression of the wound, to validate that how they learned that or how that worked, right, comes from an experience that isn't their fault, and to help them, have what we'd call a corrective emotional experience with a good adult. That's my job. It's my job to respond meaningfully to people's emotions and actions in the room and to show up as the adult. I believe that we are accountable for the harm we cause in the world. But I also believe we are accountable to the degree to which we can stop it. And that's what I think folks are kind of missing in here, that like, because, right, he's a psychiatrist, he is more responsible for stopping it than she is. Someone was like, you literally said nothing. Okay, you're not, what am I? You're feeling a salad of emotions. That's right. Like, I'm not even, yeah, I am saying something. I promise. It totally makes sense if you're confused. It totally makes sense to me. Okay, so I just want to really validate that, guys. It makes total sense to me that you are confused. Okay? So I don't want you to think that that's weird. It's not your fault you're confused. Like, it makes sense to me. Is it possible that she's in psychosis? So first of all, I cannot diagnose her. I cannot. I really, to be like, is it possible that she is in psychosis? I cannot diagnose her. In fact, I shouldn't say anything about that, right? Because of the power and privilege I have as a mental health provider, anything I say would be suggestive. What I can say is that when I have worked with people who are psychotic, they typically, I'm like, you can typically really tell. And I don't mean that in a negative way, but like, to be disconnected profoundly from reality, which is what psychosis is, means that you're typically not able to take care of the activities of daily living in a normative way, right? That's kind of how that works. I actually see a lot of people using Chat GPT to reality check. Okay, what do I mean by that? So to be clear, Chat GPT is technically a yes man, right? If you're like, Chat GPT, am I attractive? It's not going to be like, no, right? We're talking about that. But what Chat GPT often is really helpful for, especially for people who have experienced abuse or are going through an experience they have no model for, is they'll be like, is it normal? Like, what is the job of a psychiatrist? What is a psychiatrist supposed to do? Right? What is, again, like, how do lots of people feel when they're, right? What is this a normal feeling? Is this that? That's called reality checking. One of the things that I see a lot is that, reality checking is something that people who experience childhood trauma often need because they didn't get it in childhood. So like every child developmentally needs somebody to be like, hey, yeah, like, yes, what you are seeing is what I'm seeing. So like if you have little kids, they're like, that's blue, right? And you're like, yes, it's blue. That's a ball, flower, sky, right? What they're doing is the practice of reality checking. They're trying to make sure that they are kind of like, we're in this, am I seeing what you're seeing? It helps them know they're real, okay? So lots of kids, right, for whatever reason, had experiences, right? They didn't get that. Like one of the hallmarks, one of the things about childhood trauma, right? Whatever the trauma is, it typically happens in isolation. It typically happens, if it's a relational trauma, there's usually not a lot of other people there. It's just that, right? Nobody's reality checking that. Okay. So it is often a need for people who have experienced or not had appropriate reality checking to have their reality checking because they have a hard time believing themselves. Doesn't mean their report is inaccurate. It means they literally haven't had the reassurance that they can believe themselves. So again, this, everyone's like, she's psychotic. I'm like, there's that guy who like proposed to his AI. To be clear, that's problematic. That is divested from reality. Okay, this, it's not that again. I'm sorry. What? Can you mute Charlie? Because we're now getting into like sexual bullying.
Got it. Didn't see it.
You feel big. You feel like a big guy now. I mean, I think she has a spiritual practice. I find that, many people have spiritual practices that are, difficult to understand or whatever, because like spirituality is so personal. So I understand that she has a spiritual practice. But again, I don't think that makes her delusional. Again, I can't be like, she is this, she is that. I'm just saying, like, having a spiritual practice doesn't really make somebody delusional. These two things don't quite go together for me. Like, again, even if you don't understand it, it doesn't mean it's delusional. I have a dog too. Well, guys, I mean, I think one of the things that you guys don't fully understand, like if you, and again, you're not supposed to, it's not like out there, but a lot of harm is in the silence. It's in what people don't say. Like, so a lot of when we treat people, if we're doing good work, if we're not so dissociated that we're just like taking everything at face value and being incredibly logical about it, right? Like, then, we're understanding that what they say is just as important as what they don't say. And that is especially true when they're going to say something scary. So again, like, what makes me think that the internet is taking things at face value? Because the internet is obsessed. It's taking everything literally. Like, even the one being like, Kendra says she's the oracle. Okay. Again, sure. But like, we have no context there. So one of the things that you have to remember when I say like people make sense, what I mean is people make sense in reality. So people make sense like as animals. They make sense, right? As like human beings in the world. Like we are a product of our lived experience, of what we learn through life. And things like the DSM or a lot of other, right? The way we look at things, it takes a human being completely out of the context of their life. It basically says they are not living in reaction to anything. And that's that doesn't make sense, right? So, right. So what I want you to think is, Brittany, I fucking love you. God, you're awesome. There are some people though that I like who have, again, like I know this is hard. It is really hard to like look, just kind of slow down, right? It's really hard. This is an incredibly activating situation. It is a situation that is creating a ton of feeling. That's all incredibly real. And so I am truly grateful to the people who have just, taken some time to kind of stay with me. And like, just look at this. Like, that means a great deal. And it's courageous, truly, while this is happening. It takes a lot of courage to be like, well, could there be other perspectives here? What else could be here? So Brittany was saying, I'm trying to understand the mirror. So one of the things I've said, right, is like, people, again, we don't exist in a vacuum. So everyone on the internet is reacting to something, right? They are reacting to Kendra. Why I have suggested that Kendra is a mirror in certain ways is because the reactions are not all the same. They are all the same in the sense that we are trying to, right, collectively invalidate her, but the reasoning behind why is all over the place. So that leads me to believe that there is something going on, right? Is that tracking? Right. But something about Kendra, right? Kendra, it's very hard to see Kendra, right, as being a real person. There's right, just like a person telling what happened to her on the internet. That we've sort of lost the thread on because there's so much feeling. So when I'm saying that why this feels a bit, right, like off the rails to me is like, one, we have the universal so much feeling, but we are grounding this in a lot of different explanations, right? Kendra has psychosis. Kendra is a sexual predator. Kendra has narcissistic personality disorder. Kendra has schizoid personality disorder. Kendra has bipolar. Kendra is this. Kendra is that, right? There's a lot of different, there's a lot. And it leads me to believe that there's a lot of mentation, right? People are really thinking about this a lot. People are usually thinking about something, right? Everybody's really trying to figure this out. But the physical reaction to Kendra is shut up, right? So like everybody is, shh, don't do that. But also, I can't look away from you. This, if I were to put language to the feeling, right? It is, oh my God, shut up, stop talking, go away. No, bad. But already bad, I can't tell. Shh, right? Like this is what I'm talking about. And then everybody's trying to explain it in different ways. I think that might be more about you. What is the matter? Oh, shit. I think my cat bit this. Okay, right. So everybody. Well, Ruby, I have a theory behind that. I think the reason people are reacting to Kendra this way comes from the wisdom Kendra holds. Right? They are recognizing something in her that they cannot name in themselves, and they don't want to. Right. I love that. Hope you lost me. Gosh, one of the things that really helps, to like make this kind of funny, like, again, I'm not going to get mad at you for not understanding. It's totally okay. Right. But like what Jung would say is that your reaction to Kendra has to do with the wound. Well, what is the wound? That wound is between Kendra, her psychiatrist, and her AI. We don't know it, but you're reacting to it. I love someone was like, no, that's okay. That's fine. Well, I don't mean like your reaction, like your feelings, the feelings in your body, not what you're thinking. Like the thinking is fine. But again, what I want to suggest, right, just generally is like, again, there are lots of people, white women, there's lots of white women who, talk about themselves on the internet. Right? You're no shortage of white women talking about themselves on the internet, to be clear. Okay. Why did this one create this? Because this is wild. You are welcome to report me. You can do that. You are allowed to. No, I told that story earlier. Guys, I'm a mom. I practice therapy. Like I didn't get my renewal in the mail. So somebody very kindly, although I don't think the intention was kind, was like, "Were you practicing without a license?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I forgot to renew this thing." So it was within the window. And that was great. Thank you so much. It's really great. Well, I think she was talking. I mean, again, I don't think, like, part of this is, is there a different way she could have done this to make us more comfortable? Is again, and I know that's not what you're saying, but part of this is, right, like, that would have been safer for everybody, right? Like, part of this is, and again, I think one of the things I want you all to hear in the reaction to Kendra is threat, threat, danger, threat, danger, threat. Okay? Right? Can we agree that that is the feeling? Yeah? Right. So that, right, again, I think is because, right. So if we kind of slow this down a little bit to be like, okay, we are identifying, right? The collective surged together in a collective physical response, right? It was a collective physical response to be like, this woman is scary. Okay? To be clear. Right. And then we're trying to come up with explanations for it. Right? Are you guys, what is that? Yes. Okay. So part of what I want you to hear right now, right, just from me, is like, that makes sense to me. That makes total sense. I see you. Your feelings are valid. Your explanations are what we're struggling with. May, I love you. I'm not gaslighting. I'm not, guys, if you could check the record, I just validated everybody here, okay? The figure of just not gaslighting, okay? Stay with me. Because again, when people have experienced dangerous situations and survived them, we often respond to them, again, unconsciously, knowing that. Right? So when you have someone with childhood trauma who has survived challenging things, right? Who holds the experience of harm in their body. People sense that unconsciously. And so that's one piece. Another piece is people have a hard time figuring out when somebody is in a fight response, if they're trying to fight them or not, or somebody, or they're dangerous. So I want to be clear that, like, to practice courage, to do a scary thing, you have to get into a fight response in your body, which again, people can sense. But fight isn't always bad. Like anger, a lot of us kind of approach anger from a place of it being dangerous because when we were little or young, right, we were, anger ended with punishment. That was really common. That's how that worked, right? Angry people took an angry action, right? But anger is actually meant in animals. Again, it can be about overpowering and dominance, but it's often about, protection. So when people have to do something scary, like tell the truth about their experience or fight for something they believe in, or, right, they have to drop into what you call a fight response. And what this is really hard to be able to tell, right? If somebody is in a fight response and they're fighting for their humanity, fighting for their truth, fighting for their children, right? Again, that it doesn't mean that it can't be fighting for the oppression of someone else. That is very real. But what we often find, what we sense is that fight, and then we can't tell what somebody is doing, which I would suggest is part of what is happening here as well. So the argument that she is villainizing her therapist, right, or psychiatrist, I'm sorry. I'm a therapist. If a patient of mine wanted to go on the internet and tell all of you that I did something, they can. They can. Do I believe people ever don't make sense? No, I believe all people make sense. Do I believe justice will be always carried out rightfully? My dear one, no. I don't believe justice is mostly ever carried out. I don't think we live in that world. I've watched all of her videos. No, I'm in the collective. I'm in the collective. Like part of, you'll see me if you go through my videos, there's one moment where someone was like, said something and I misinterpreted it because I was in a fight response and I was like, don't objectify me. How dare you? Right? Perpetrator. And then I had to be like, they explain, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, right? I got caught up in it. I got lost in it. Well, because the accusations don't matter. Like they don't, again, like they don't matter in some like grand logical linear thing. Like she says he did this, then the police are called, then they'll do something, and that's how this works. There's a wonderfully dissociated belief about how this first of all of this works, how about, any kind of violence or sexual violence or especially sexual violence happens. Like, that's just a beautiful fantasy. Like people are allowed to make reports. You can make a police report. It doesn't mean the police are going to do anything. Like, that's not how this works. Like, there typically is an investigation, or if we're talking about, sexual assault, rarely an investigation. But again, like, part of why I'm responding this way to Kendra is because there seems to be some misunderstanding about, like, if this woman says this happened, immediately, this man will be harmed. Though that was 100% the case with Emmett Till, right? So like, again, I want to ground like that in actual reality. Yes, right? Yes. In this instance, right? Again, it isn't, is that really how it works? So we're all dissociating all the time then. Well, I mean, everybody dissociates, first of all. Dissociation is normal. Everybody dissociates. All animals dissociate, right? All animals go into freeze state. So everybody dissociates. Dissociation is not bad. It's this marvelous adaptation. It's a physical state. It's perfectly fine. So we do not all dissociate all the time, first of all. But it's one of the things that I work with people a lot about is it's really helpful to know when you're dissociating so you can work with it. Because if you don't know you're dissociating, it's really hard to be clear on what to do. And that doesn't feel good. If it doesn't matter on a wider legal level, why is it important that I help Kendra? Kendra is a person. I think Kendra just saying the truth of what happened to her is, again, it's okay. And like whether it is the objective, abject, whatever truth that this sort of like, again, we are not a court of law here. That's not necessary. But like she's just telling her experience, which again, it is really interesting to me that from her words, you can really orient to his humanity. And I would actually suggest that that's more a testament to how she sees him as a human being than anything else. I don't think she's looking for healing on TikTok. So guys, I don't know. Okay, so let's be clear. I started talking about, I came to this platform to be like, hey, yeah, I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse and a therapist. Okay. And the reason I am going to talk about this is because nobody talks about this. And one of the things that anybody who has experienced harm, right, knows is that it's very lonely, right? Trauma is lonely and it makes you feel alone. It makes you feel like there's something wrong with you. It makes you feel like you really, truly sort of are alone in the world. Thank you, Hannah. And so I wanted to talk about it because I wanted other people to be less alone. I don't talk about it to bring anybody to justice. In fact, if you go on my platform, you will come to see I do not talk about anybody who hurt me except to explain that I loved them and was attached to them. Okay? So again, yeah. So that's part of what people didn't know. I realized how, right? Childhood sexual abuse happens to 1 in 3 girls and 1 in 6 boys. That's a whole lot of people. It was something nobody was talking about. It felt important to talk about. One of the things that Kendra said when we talked, right? She was like, I'm getting other people messaging me being like, this is way more common than you think. Right? Thank you so much for saying something about it. Yes, that is true. It is more common than you think. Right? And again, people aren't going and sharing their stories out here because the response of the internet was so terrifying that they don't want to. Yeah, bro, I'm 1 in 3 too. Right? And so, like, again, You got it, Courtney. And part of the reason I am a person who I work with DV survivors. I work with survivors of trauma, of childhood trauma. Like this literally, it is so important. When I saw what the internet was doing to Kendra, I went, oh shit, I know this. I know this. This is exactly how it works when a child, right? When a woman, even when a man says that they are being abused and the world doesn't want that to be true. Yeah, exactly. And everybody wants to say she's doing it for clout. Clout? Would any of you want to have her experience of the past 5 days? Just like imagine, is there any world where any one of you would be like, yes, I would love for that to be me? Anybody? I love that. Negative attention is still attention. Not everybody wants attention or negative attention, especially not if you're telling something scary. So since we can't hear his side of the story because of HIPAA, does that make her claim dangerous? No, her claim is not dangerous because she's not she's just telling her experience of what happened to her. There's nothing in that that would hurt him. Do you understand? Like first, when she told the story, again, you cannot dox a provider. All right? Like you can look at my license. You can report me. I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't try to find out where I live or stuff like that. I mean, that's where you're getting like creepy and doxy, okay? But like that's okay. It's public knowledge. I'm a provider, right? She slipped and said his first name. The internet doxed him. Which again is how we're like, guys, we're fucking off the rails here. They could not get, this was intense. Yeah, she's actually said, please don't dox him. Like, again, where folks like she's doxed him. I'm like, I've seen her say, please, I will delete any comments that has his name in it. I will delete this. Do not put in there. Like, that's care, guys. That's care. It's not. It's important. Oh man. What do you think? Are you here? What do you think of this?
What part? This is wild. There's so many comments.
Guys, Lenny. You know Lenny. Hey. This is wild.
Wild.
Okay, it's not illegal to do cognitive behavioral therapy as a non-therapist. It's like doing cryotherapy. You can paraprofessionals can do it. It's literally like a how do you even describe it? It's not like depth therapy. It's not the kind of therapy I'm talking about, like what I do. Just a white woman opinion. I mean, Yeah, it's like a practical therapy. There's different kinds of treatments, so like psychoanalytic treatment is like again much more in depth, right? Um like again Jungian depth psychology, right? These kinds of different things like there but again there's therapy is therapy. You can get trained in these different things, but cognitive behavioral therapy is something that you can kind of like just like it's like somatic experiencing therapy. It's a course of treatment. Do I do CBT? No. No. It's simple. Thank you, May. That's a really good way to put it. It's like motivational interviewing is another that's very similar to that. You don't have to be licensed to do that. I think anybody is better when they are believed. I would just like to make this point. I think everybody gets better if you believe them. Now, when I say you believe them, you believe they are real. Now, that doesn't mean you have to believe everything somebody thinks, but you do have to believe that they make sense and that their feelings come from real places. Okay? Believing someone is real means they are a real human being, means they have lived and experienced things I cannot know. But I know those things are shaping their response to me. Why are you so resistant? Well, again, I didn't hear her say she needed help, but I do validate that you are feeling she needs help. Letty has to hype me up here a little bit, guys, because this is a little bit. You gotta understand. I'm just a gal, just a regular old gal. Okay, so let's talk about false reporting, false accusations. What is your understanding of how often that happens? Someone just asked me how much I made tonight. Am I making a lot of money? I have no idea. Okay, guys, there is no amount of money worth whatever. The purpose of this live is to make Kendra and help Kendra feel less alone. That's the purpose of this live. To show you that I know she is a real human being. He is a Oh my God, did you hear that dissociative? That was a dissociative projection right there. Did you hear what I said? So good. The goal of this live is that you hear he is a real human being. Oh, fuck. It is serious. It is strong. She, the person who we are talking about, is a real human being, not the person, right? And that at least, again, She deserves centering as much as he does. You can easily do that privately. Yes, but Kendra, the entire internet has collectively attempted to silence her. That is not good. That's not good, guys. So I said, hey, this is abusive. What you are doing is abusive. So when a grown-up sees something happening to somebody who can do something about it, I said, let me get in here and just try to stop the harm. That's what good grown-ups do. That's it. No, oh, that's such a great question, period. So dissociation and projection are not two different things. These words are really confusing. So dissociation, again, clinical term, projection, Freudian clinical term, defense mechanism. These are all ways to describe what happens in our brains when our body goes into a freeze state, right? Freeze or fawn, which again is part of our fear response cycle as animals. So like the dissociation is like, again, but it's really everybody going into, yeah. Yes, two things can be true. You got it, Ray. The internet is causing her harm and she is causing harm. And from my perspective, the internet is not a living, breathing human being, right? She is. The psychiatrist has the protection of licensing boards and investigation process, the entire mental health system behind him. So, she didn't have any protection. So I wanted to be a really good grown-up, honestly. And when you are a person, when you see somebody getting hurt and you can do something, you show up. Okay? Yes, Belle, we went over this. Thank you. I am actively licensed. However, I'm also a mom and, I moved recently and have a lot of things going on. And so I didn't get the notification that I had to renew. So when somebody said exactly what you said to me, I went, oh my God, thank you so much. And so today I went and got to renew my license. And again, you have like a grace period. So I'm still in the grace period. Ruby, that's so kind. So I don't have a YouTube channel, really. I'm probably the worst capitalist you've ever met. So though I sort of post and do things rarely, or relatively frequently, I have not kind of figured out how to do this in a real kind of way. That said, I did go on one podcast a while back called Your Kids Don't Suck, where I talked about recovered memories and childhood sexual abuse. And I'm going to go on a podcast called The Gray Area with Codependency Kate. We talked on Saturday about what's happening with Kendra, and that should be out, I think, on Tuesday. No, I don't, again, I'm not going to speak to whether or not, right? Like, it's not for me to say about delusions or not delusions. I think Kendra makes sense. I do. I literally am trying to validate her humanity. Like, somebody needed to get in here and be like, people, hello, people, hello, human beings. This is a person. You are hurting her. Please stop. The process, like to renew your license, you pay a certain amount of money. You just have to pay them. I'd already done all my, what do you call it? Continuing education credits, because like I knew it was coming, but I didn't know when it was. So you have to do a continuing education, you have to do your mandated reporter trainings, like this is all, but so I did that, but I lost the thread on what the timing was. So I actually appreciate you guys checking, making sure I'm a person. Yeah, it is my job, but I'm also a person who moves and forgot it, didn't get it in the mail. What is my standard of understanding where you feel she doesn't need protection anymore? I don't think that's for me to say, right? I think part of it, that's more for her to say. Like people, can tell you when they feel safer. I'm really glad that she set some boundaries, right? That she turned off comments, that she started to put up that paywall. Like I think that's incredibly healthy and terrific because it helps keep her safe. And again, like whether or not you kind of see that as being safe, like safety is something that we feel it's a process problem. So, she's allowed to do things to help her feel safer. So like that really, I think was terrific. But when it comes down to it, like this is, she is going to be the person who says, I feel safe. CJRM. Okay, lots of thinking there, right? This is not a thought problem. Let me put this a different way. Can everybody get on board with the fact that Kendra has had a lot of attention in the past 3 days, 4 days, however long this has been going on? I have 2 licenses. I'm licensed in 2 states. Right? But can we think about if you were a person living your life and you went and just posted on TikTok and then this happened. Just imagine what that might be like. I'm not asking anybody to get to decide. I'm asking us to just be like, what would that be like? Right? I'm not asking anybody to decide if she should or should not have this experience. I'm just asking you to be like, what would it be like? What do you imagine this would be like for you? See, Blue, I hear you. I hear what you're doing there. But just again, I'm trying to be like, if this was you and you just went and said this and then this happened to you, what would it be like? What do you imagine you would feel? Do you imagine that you would be scared? Guys, the folks who are reflecting are awesome. This is so courageous. Do you imagine that you would question if you were crazy? Do you imagine you would wonder if you had hurt him or done the wrong thing? And believing all what the professionals were saying about me, right? Okay. And so what if what you were saying was true? What if what you were saying was true and you felt all those things? What do you think, what would you feel the right thing to do was? Doesn't have to be the same story. Like, again, okay, we lost. We couldn't take that one in, I guess. Did you just say Kendra has not been defensive at all? Right. But would, if it was true and you had to not, right, if it was true and you had this big of a response to you, would you back down? I'm just wondering. You wouldn't handle it as well as she is. And it's hard to understand how she's doing that, right? She must be lying if she's this okay. But she also must not be okay if she's this okay, right? Anybody picking up what I'm putting down? My position on mental health is that when you attack people, it affects it. That's my position on mental health. And I don't, do you need me to clarify? My position on mental health is it's not some magical thing that doesn't exist outside of context. If you hurt somebody, it impacts them. That is my position on both health and mental health. That's right. That when things happen to people, it affects them. That's my position. That's why people make sense. So I think what people don't really understand how to identify is courage. I just think people have a really hard time getting courage. And that's because it's something that most people, like, you don't actually see it happen a lot. You actually don't have a lot of good models for courage in your life, my friends, probably. But courage is contagious. I think people can't tell that her courage is not harmful. It's not meant to be harmful. So if nobody said it wasn't affecting her, then why are they continuing to do it? Hello, reenactment. If you know it's hurting her, why won't you stop? Yeah. So just because you can't understand why Kendra can do this doesn't mean she's crazy. Just because you couldn't do what she's doing doesn't mean she's crazy. just because she isn't responding in a way you understand doesn't mean she's crazy. Guys, what does clout mean? What am I going to do with this? What do you think I'm going to do with my clout? Like, truly, everybody's like, you what? I'm like, okay, explain it to me. What do you mean? What am I going to do with it? Attention? Why do you think I want attention? Why does this woman, why am I so desperate for attention? I'm a 41-year-old woman with kids and a job. I've survived, a lot of abusive situations. I've had enough attention, okay? Because my life is based on her. No, my life is going, hey guys, I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I'm a therapist, and I would like to stop the harm. Let me try to stop the harm. What influencer status? What am I gonna sell? I already told you I was the worst fucking capitalist you've ever met. That's no joke, guys. Lenny can vouch for that. I'm here because there was a person who the entire community of, right, including licensed mental health professionals, said was insane. And I'm a licensed mental health professional, and I know that's wrong. So I had to come out here and be like, stop doing that. She's a person. One of the things I think you guys don't fully, okay, I have a spiritual practice too, to be clear. I have a higher power. Okay? So, one of the dialogue that you're kind of engaging in is that this is all about ego. Right? I got to be doing this for me. I can't be doing this for the greater good. I can't be doing this for, something meaningful or purposeful or, right? Let me tell you, the only way childhood trauma survivors figure out how, you got to make your trauma meaningful, right? That's the only way. Otherwise, my suffering is just suffering unless I can use it in service to help someone else. So I saw a woman who said she had childhood trauma, being labeled, darvoed, harmed. And I said, I am a licensed therapist, and I am not going to let her go through this alone. And if you don't understand that matters as a human being on a human level, that you see this happening to another human being, and that's not, I'm not saying I'm a great person. You might call that unhinged, but you know what? If you hang out with me or you know me, or right, that's my shtick. I like to run in. Lenny can vouch for that. You stop it right now. Right? That's my shtick. I'll go first. I'll stop it right now. It's not enabling. Enabling would be me saying there is nothing wrong. She is completely right, right? Enabling is about literally kind of doing what you're doing. There's only two truths, right or wrong. Enabling is, What is best for me? What is this? The helping somebody is different. That's really cute. I'm Abby Cheese. Someone just said if I was a mouse, my mouse name would be Abby Cheese. That was nice. Why would I critique her? What the fuck? So crazy. I don't know her. Why would I critique her? I'm not in the habit of going up to people I don't know and being like, is it true? Where were you on the night of, right? Like, that's not typically how I do things. To redirect her towards help, I'm not in charge of her life. I'm not in charge of her. Like, again, one of the things I think we're losing the thread on is as a mental health provider, typically when people need help, they're asking for it explicitly. Like I certainly have taken people to the emergency room. I've taken people for hospitalizations. I have never done it without them acknowledging there was something going on. The problem here, right, is that I love people like, you're not a real professional. Oh my God. What do you think mental health people are doing? Do you think we're just institutionalizing people left and right? Do you think this is like the 1920s? Like, no, you can't do that. Like, I literally saw these narratives like, lock her up. I'm like, do you think this is how it works? Like, the mental health system, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, do the straight jacket. I think she had personal validation from her friends and family. I don't think, right, as she said when she talked to me, right, that, people who actually know her have responded in person being like, oh my gosh, what could we do? How could we help you? This is wild. And I said something, but this is where I'm like, oh, the collective dissociation is fucking nuts. Because I said something where I was like, well, Kendra said that she had friends. And then someone was like, how do you know that? Was that just what she told you? Or do you have actual evidence? And I'm like, do we typically, when, asking somebody if they have friends, go, can I fact check that? Like, why? What are we doing here, guys? Why is it? What's going on? I don't understand. She's not getting her validation. Like, guys, do you know? Okay, and again, you're literally going to. Okay, so yes, folks are getting real caught up in the words. So this has been said to me multiple times, okay? Where people are like, the therapist did not beg. There was no evidence of begging. Okay. Lenny, I'm going to Google a word. If you actually know me, I do this a lot in my lives because I think words are important. I can't see. Oh my God, I'm too old to be up this late. Okay, so the definition of the word begging is ask someone earnestly or humbly for something. I think what we can reflect is that the therapist did ask earnestly and humbly for her to come in for another session. Anybody? Like, seems accurate. Okay. The problem is, okay, let's get real weird for a second. The problem is in the collective, okay, when you heard the word begging, you pictured somebody on their knees. How many people had that experience? How many people literally, when they say, picture somebody on their knees? Word, nobody. No, I'm asking you, like, in your own head, what do you see? T, incredible. Thank you, Casey. Oh my God. There it was. Welcome to the collective unconscious, guys. Okay, what do you see? When Kendra said that, what did you see? Yes, there we go. Yeah, right? Was that person that you saw begging, where there's something childlike about it? Was there something kids? Yep. Yes, but when you picture, right, when you say, right, the begging, when that comes up, what do you picture in your head? Kids crying and yelling for candy, crying, pleading, please, please, please. Yep. I'm not asking that. I'm not asking. I'm asking what you asking repeatedly, pleading and whining, childlike. You're right. The therapist was not asking like a child. Let's all validate that, okay? The therapist was not asking like a child. Not like a child. However, the therapist was asking earnestly or humbly for something. Are you now perhaps believing a bit more in the collective unconscious? Is anybody else believing a little bit more in the collective unconscious after that? No. 100% Jenna was stunned. Here we go. Look, I didn't say you're going to like it. I didn't say this is going to be fun. The entire reason there is this big of a reaction is because nobody wants to address the collective unconscious. Okay? We got some big motherfucking resistance here. That doesn't make what is happening in the collective unconscious not real. Okay, what's another one that keeps coming up? And we'll play this out. No, she meant beg. You just saw something different. Well, you can believe the literal word beg, which the literal definition is ask someone earnestly or humbly for something, right? She used that accurately. That is what the therapist did, asked earnestly and humbly for something. And then you reflect that what you saw in your head was in your head. Okay? Len? What do you picture in your head?
Yeah, pleading.
Pleading, begging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is not the definition, apparently.
Nope. Welcome to the collective and calm. She emphasized that word so hard. Yes. The therapist was enabling. The therapist was literally the other adult, and that adult was not protecting her. Yes. So can we talk about the interpretation of him being uncomfortable with the sex dream? Frog's incredible. So let's try this one again, folks. When, okay, this is, again, this might be weird, okay? It might feel weird. It's normal. It makes sense, okay? Makes sense. When I say to you, he made, she told him, right, about her sex dream, right? She told him about the sex dream. What comes into your head? Is it a man sitting in a chair? Is it some exotic dancing happening? Is it a grimace? Wait, what's the question? Sorry. Okay, but in that right, he was uncomfortable. Yeah, but like, what do you picture in your head? Okay. Now, what do you picture in your head? Is there a picture? When we talk about, right, the whole thing that keeps coming up about, right, he was uncomfortable. No, don't think. What do you picture in your head? Right? Because again, and there's a feeling attached to it, right? Like, because we're talking about these points, right? Of like, what do you picture? He's a bit frozen, right? What do you picture, Len? What do you picture?
About him being uncomfortable?
Yeah, like when
Did
that.
she say that?
Yeah.
Did she say that?
Yeah. But like, what's the visual that comes up for you? Or with the visceral, right? There's like a visceral with that. What's that?
I don't know, dude.
Okay. Well, Labril, you could leave. If I'm not helping you, you could leave. Right. So, but part of this, like, what I'm suggesting is there's a collective, sense of his experience. He was in a chair. He couldn't move. He looked down. He looked away. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't get away. Right? Thanks, Stacey. right? And yes, that's your feeling, right? Why? First of all, there's a real commonality in it. There's a real theme. There's a real, well, who cares? Well, because the actions people are taking with that feeling, that no, right? That like sense of him, that real sense of his experience are harmful towards Kendra. Okay? You can't bully somebody, guys. Even if you don't agree with them, you can't bully them. That's not kind. Right. You don't know how he feels, but this is all kind of like, right? But it feels like you do. It feels like you know how he feels, right? Oh, Lord. I don't know who is people. I don't know how to do the internet. It's not about how I would feel. It's more like you just don't know. I don't want to join things. I don't like, I don't, ah. I'm gonna have to go to sleep soon. But part of what we're saying here, right, when I'm talking about the collective unconscious is like you feel like you felt what he felt. You feel like that. Right? That's how that works. It feels like that. Those are still your feelings. I mean, I think one of the things here, Monse, I don't know if this comment is kind or not kind, right? The comment is, I was right. I knew you were a trauma survivor. So let's just be clear about something. No one can weaponize what happened to me. You could try, but it won't work. Okay? I'm not, it's not gonna happen. Well, I think again, my undergrad is in sociology, right? So sociology, right, is about like societies, systems. Psychology is about individuals, right? And a lot of what we want to do is like look at this in very individual lens. But I was just kind of, I've always liked to look at things from like a, more sociological lens. So like the interesting thing about this, where folks are being like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What I want to just reflect to you is to be like, something is really going on, right? Like, and again, not with Kendra, not with the psychiatrist, but in the response to Kendra and the psychiatrist, right? There is something really going on about that. And that's part of, again, like, I don't want us to lose the thread here that there is a human being, that Kendra is a human being. Yes, the psychiatrist is also a human being, right? Nobody is debating this, that they are equally human. Doesn't mean people have same privileges, right? Same resources, same this or same that, but they are equally human. And so what I'm trying to do is to be like, guys, let's stop this discourse about the two of them and really start to be like, wow, what was this? Because I have ideas about what it was. CJRM, she's not blocking. She is allowed to protect herself. It's a boundary. She is allowed to have a boundary because the internet has not been able to feel one, right? It has not been able to feel one. You cannot feel that you are saying these things to a human being. You cannot feel that. How, how am I doing, Len? I'm fucking tired, yo. I am fucking tired. Do you want me to introduce myself again? Is there any more hate accounts? It's really amazing. Abby is an abuser? Do we have to make t-shirts?
Maybe it should go on the list.
Put it on the list. Can we share the list? Just for fun, guys. Because I gotta keep this light. Lenny and I have this ongoing list, okay? It's a list of things that I have said through the course of this work and that we both think I should put on t-shirts and merch. But of course, I'm the worst capitalist ever, so that's never happened. But please, let me share with you this list while we giggle, because I guess we're going to have to add Abby is an abuser Stan account to this fucking list.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, ready?
I don't date. I'm starting a revolution.
Can you hear this, or would you like me to repeat it? What do they say? Can you hear, Len? Yes. Okay.
All right. Fuck them, they're trash.
Fuck them, they're trash. That's a good one.
Vices save lives.
Vices save lives. Yes.
Reality doesn't require belief. I don't know.
Mhm.
Wiggle, wiggle. This one's personal. Can you turn on the air fryer?
Can you turn on the air fryer? Is a good one.
Feelings are facts, but they're not final.
Feelings are facts, but they're not final.
I am matter.
So true. It's not that I matter. I am matter.
He's not silly, he's evil.
Oh my God, I love it. Somebody just said, my brother is on the New York board. They are aware of this live.
Oh, I'm
Oh
so
my
glad.
God. Oh
Are you
my
scared,
God.
Abby?
I'm so scared. I'm shaking in my motherfucking boots. If I didn't do anything wrong, you can report me and nobody will find anything wrong with it. Bitches, I'm not fucking scared of you, okay? My brother. Okay.
People are really upset about us saying feelings are facts.
We're so upset about feelings are facts. Oh, fuck, Lenny. And my brother is on the New York board. And he is aware of this. My brother is aware of this.
Y'all do not get our sense of humor.
They don't understand. Okay, what else we got? He will be hearing. Wait till I tell him about you. Okay. I feel like I just.
He will be hearing about this.
I know, it's so good.
All right.
Libby says be nice and then bullies this girl about her brother.
My brother is matters.
Oh no. Oh my God.
Gotten to the M&M.
I'm sorry that I am bullying your brother who's on the licensing board of New York State. I'm so sorry about that. This is just whew. Okay, here we go. Sorry. What else you got?
Live or die, bro. I don't care.
Yeah.
If he can work in Alexa, he can go to jail.
This is one of the things I do believe about, people who commit crimes is if he can work in Alexa, he can go to jail. That is a baseline. Guys,
Uh,
okay, I'm not bullying the lady who said her brother worked on the board. Okay, sometimes it's just too funny. It's too absurd to me that we're doing this. So let me just be clear. I'm not bullying the woman who just said to me, right? Why am I assuming it's a woman? They said the collective unconscious too. Maybe. I am not bullying the person who said, my brother is on the New York licensing board and he is aware of this live. She is bullying me. I am protecting myself and saying, go ahead, you can do that. And then I'm also allowed to try to get some distance from the fact that someone is threatening my career because I showed up to say, hey, this person matters, right? I don't know. I'm mocking her. Yeah, I am. How else am I supposed to respond to this? She'll literally be like, oh my God, I'm so scared. What do you want me to do? If I do that, then I won't be able to do this. Oh my God. You're really putting, what's the range of humanness I'm allowed to have? I can't react, unkindly to being threatened, God forbid, right? I can't laugh at this. I still like, if he can work in Alexa, he can go to jail is a pretty good standard. What else you got?
I put men in jail.
That's
I hate
true. That
Yeah.
one might not land well here, though.
I hate everything everyone is doing and not doing.
That feels really true.
And grouchy for good.
Grouchy for good. Yep. Yeah. Oh my God, Maria's here. Maria, we love you.
Hi, Maria.
Maria, do you have the
Show
emojis?
off the emoticons.
Show off the emoticons.
Do your thing, Maria.
Oh my God, Maria. Oh, if anybody would like to, yeah. So Maria's got the emoticons. Maria's anxious. Maria, it's okay. It's normal to hear the emoticons. Okay. This is starting to feel a little bit more like a normal life. Honestly, guys, that's mostly what we typically do. Is this. Well, Maria, I'm all right, but I didn't see this coming, did you? Frogs, you feel a little bit better about humanity. That's good. That's good. That's all I'm trying to do here, and sometimes I have found in my life that doing the unpopular thing is actually the right thing. And that the more I tend to orient to truth, typically the more pushback I get, or the more people have tried to silence me. So they're really mad that I won't just shut up and be scared of them. But that's what you don't understand about survivors of childhood trauma. We're used to figuring out how to live being bullied. I got a skill set for this, guys, so I'm not going to respond to it the way you would expect. That's okay. That's just because I know how to do it. Right? So again, you're going to be like, why isn't she? Why is she not? No, it's just I'm really used to being bullied. I'm really used to people trying to silence me. I'm really used to that. So I'm going to come at this in a way that might not make sense to you, but does make sense given the fact that, I'm really used to people not believing me. I'm really used to people trying to silence me. I'm really used to people trying to hurt me. So, when I talk about how people make sense, that's how people make sense. And on that note, I'm tired. This was a lot for me. But it was good. And you can follow me. I'm supposed to do this, right? You can follow me and we'll keep going. And it has been real. It has been real. The podcast, right. So the podcast I was in was called Your Kids Don't Suck. And the podcast I will be in is called The Gray Area with Codependency Kate. And again, you know, before you try to make me lose my license, you know, before you try to get me fired from my job, maybe just like try to listen to what I'm saying a little bit, you know, hang out with it. Like you can do that at any time, but Kendra gave the psychiatrist 4 years. Like give me 40 minutes, okay? All right. I wish you all a gentle night, that you feel easy and calm in your bodies. Yeah. Can you turn on the air fryer? That one, it's really an inside joke. I can't, you know, but it's a good one. But again, I really thank you all for showing up to this. And for those of you who showed kindness and those of you who, right, practiced curiosity, it was a courageous act and I see it. And it's good. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.